Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
And today we're talking about something called voice cloning. Okay, I don't know how I could get you all to believe that this is my real voice right now. I've been doing this program for many years, and I'm sure somebody could have sampled my voice and copied it artificially. And maybe this is actually a machine talking to you. So you have to believe me that it is the real thing here, and Stephanie as well. But yeah, we've got this problem with voice cloning going on, and of course, people are using it as part of scams.
Oh, you got to watch out these days. It's very easy to clone someone's voice. I still think they sound fake. I'll be honest. I've heard some of the well-done AI voice copying. I even saw a video that was copying some podcaster the other day, and I thought, well, you know, it's okay. He was going on vacation for a month, and he was kind of showing who was going to replace him for the month of August. This was back in the summertime, and I thought, well, you can still tell it's fake. So AI isn't perfect yet, but you got to be careful. And I think some people don't know about this technology, and so they might believe some of these calls that they get from scammers. We're going to talk about it first by reading through a conversation, guys, and then we'll be back, so stay tuned.
A close call with voice cloning.
Hello?
Hey, it's John. I'm in trouble. I need you to wire me 5,000 NT dollars right away. I'll explain everything later. Please, it's urgent.
John? What happened?
I'll tell you later. Please just transfer the money now. I'll text you my bank details. I'm counting on you.
Okay. Let me get back to you in a minute.
Lisa hangs up and quickly dials John's regular number. Hello? This is John.
John, did you just call me and ask for 5,000 NT dollars?
What? No, I've been in a meeting. 5,000 NT dollars? That's insane. Why would I do that?
That's what I thought. But the voice on the call sounded just like you. Same tone, same way of speaking. It was eerie.
That's really disturbing. Wait, remember that voice acting job I applied for? I submitted a voice sample for an audiobook last month.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I didn't get the job, but now I'm wondering, could they have used my recording without permission?
Maybe it's AI generated. Scammers these days only need a few seconds of someone's voice to create a convincing clone.
True. I've heard about that. Voice cloning fraud is becoming more advanced. I should report this. They're likely targeting others, too.
You definitely should. And tell your bank just in case.
Good idea. I'm glad you didn't fall for it. That could have been a disaster. Okay, let's talk about the contents of today's program. The title is A Close Call with Voice Cloning. Now, first of all, I want to explain this phrase, a close call. That means it was a dangerous situation that was barely avoided, okay? Oh, that was a close call. You almost got hit by that bus. You should watch where you're going next time. It was a close call. Sometimes you could say, ooh, that was a close one. You were almost a goner there, so be careful next time. And so this is a close call with voice cloning. Yeah, John was almost in trouble, or was it Lisa? I can't remember.
John's in trouble,
well, John's
supposedly.
the one who says he's in trouble.
Lisa was almost scammed.
Right, exactly. So it was a close call for her. She almost lost 5,000 NT dollars there. Cloning, of course, is when you copy something. Usually it has to do with DNA, like I think way back in, what was it, 82 or something like that. They cloned a sheep in Scotland. I think I got the year wrong, but it was around that time. So they cloned a sheep. I think the sheep didn't live very long or something like that. And
now they're cloning pets for Hollywood stars. I read that Barbra Streisand is now on like her 8th clone of a pet she liked, which is kind of creepy. But, you know, if you have lots of money, they do these sorts of weird things in life.
And, of course, lots of people are worried about cloning human beings. But
they're doing it already.
That's
secretly.
Another topic for another day, but we're talking about voice cloning. which is when they get a sample of your voice and then they make a message sound just like you. And of course, they're going to use it for scamming.
Yeah. So we start out by Lisa answering the phone. And when she picks up the phone and says hello, she hears what she thinks is John's voice. And it says, hey, it's John. I'm in trouble. Ooh, you don't want to hear that from a friend. And then he goes on to say, I need you to wire me 5,000 NT dollars right away. That's a lot of cash. So if you wire money to someone, it just means you send money electronically from one bank to another. Taiwan has such excellent technology here that all we have to do is go to an ATM or a bank. I have a bank next door. It's not my bank, but I go there and I use it a lot to transfer money from one account to another to pay bills. So that's what he's wanting her to do. We use wire, this phrasing when we're in America. So we won't say, I want to transfer money to you. We'll say, I'm going to wire. I still will wire money from Taiwan to my bank account in America, but I have to go to the bank and fill out official documents. It's kind of a pain. But that's what he's wanting her to do. Really, here in Taiwan, it's as simple as going to just any ATM and transferring money using your bank card. It's easy.
Right. Now, this is only 5,000 NT dollars, but maybe it sounds reasonable. Of course, if he said, oh, I've been kidnapped, and these guys are desperate. They're going to kill me if you don't send me or send them 5 million NT dollars or something like that. Someone might think, yeah, that's probably a scam. I'm not going to believe that. But if something like this comes up, if it's only 5,000 NT dollars, people might buy it. They might believe it. And so, yes, he says, I'll explain everything later. Please, it's urgent. It needs to be done right away. And Lisa is on the phone. She says, John, what happened? What kind of trouble are you experiencing?
He says, I'll tell you later. I think I would start suspecting there's some scamming going on just by the fact that he's in such an urgent situation. He can't tell her why he needs $5,000. It's a lot of money, It's not like someone's asking to borrow 100 NT to buy some tea or maybe a sandwich. So he doesn't have time to tell her. He says, please just transfer the money now. I'll text you my bank details. And then he ends it with that pleading that kind of gets to friends. I'm counting on you. If you're counting on someone, you're really depending on them to come through for you. You're relying on them. You're trusting them to help you. Usually, you can always count on your best friends to come through. I was sick a couple Sundays ago, and I don't tend to text everybody. I just told a couple of people that I was playing the piano for that I was sick. I didn't feel well, and I wouldn't be there. And then I turned off my phone because that's what I do. And I had people coming over to my apartment to see if I was okay. So, yeah, you can trust or count on people to be there for you when you're in trouble or to defend you if someone's trying to, ruin your reputation or say bad things about you. So he's counting on Lisa to give him 5,000 NT dollars.
Remember, you do need the preposition on here. If you say, I'm counting you, that means, oh, you're 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you don't want to do that.
No.
I'm counting on you, or I'm depending on you. I'm relying on you. Lisa maybe smells a rat here. She thinks there's something rotten in Denmark.
She's smart.
So she thinks, okay, let me get back to you in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to leave the phone and check something out here. A lot of people may not believe that, or they may not think it's a scam or something. They may actually believe the person on the phone, especially if they're elderly or something like that. So maybe you need to think of like a test question, like ask them a question that only you and this person would know. AI is getting smarter, though. They may be able to answer that question, so you have to think of something really obscure. What was the color of your swimming suit when we went to the swimming pool in Grettinger back in 1972? Yeah, tell me that. And I don't think AI is going to know that.
Yeah, they often do those sorts of things. Maybe you have a really, really wealthy family that fears kidnapping. There are a lot of kidnappings of wealthy people especially down in South America. And so they will give their family members safe words, or they talk in advance about, if something happens and you're in trouble, use that word and I'll know that there's something wrong. Those are safe words. So anyway, she is smart. She hangs up and dials John's regular number. So I guess the phone call that she was getting that said it was John on the line wasn't his normal phone number. The problem nowadays, though, is most of us don't know people's phone numbers. We just use our phone that memorizes everything for us. So she calls his regular number and he answers and she says, John, did you just call me and ask for $5,000? What does he say, Tom?
He says, what? No, I've been in a meeting. 5,000 NT dollars? That's insane. Why would I do that? So, of course, John did not make the call here. He's as surprised as Lisa is. I've been in a meeting. That's what I've been doing. I don't need the money. It's ridiculous. He says, that's insane. Insane just means crazy. It's wacko. It's bonkers. It's just something that's hard to believe. It's crazy. It's insane. Why would I do something like that? Why would I call you and ask for 5,000 NT dollars right away? I've got my own ATM card. I could get it myself pretty easily.
We use insane a lot, actually, guys, to talk about things other than being actually mentally insane. Maybe you've noticed lately that it seems like our traffic nowadays, at least in Taipei, is insane, almost 24/7. Which just means, it's beyond reasonable. It's unreasonable. It's crazy. I can't believe how busy our roads are these days. So, yeah, it is insane. So why would I do that? He's also saying, that's ridiculous. What? That's outrageous. What are you talking about? And then she responds by saying, that's what I thought. But the voice on the call sounded just like you. And this is how good some of the AI cloning has become. They can get the same tone and same way of speaking. And then she says it was eerie. Eerie is a great word. You could also say it was creepy. I would have said it was creepy. It was spooky. It was uncanny. Oh, I couldn't even believe it sounded so much like you. Eerie is kind of that feeling when the sun has gone down and maybe there's fog coming down from the clouds, and it just, you feel a little nervous. I never feel eerie. Things are eerie in Taiwan because Taiwan's pretty safe. But if I'm in another country and I'm alone and it's dark, I might say it feels eerie.
Yeah, to me, it sort of has overtones of supernatural things, like maybe there's a ghost here or something really weird is going on. A UFO is here somewhere. So, yeah, it was a weird, eerie, strange, unusual situation. And yes, indeed, it did sound just like you. And John says, that's really disturbing. Disturbing here just means it's something that's unsettling. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It's just not normal at all. Of course, there are lots of things that disturb us. Maybe, for example, you saw a violent movie or something, and the violence in that movie was very disturbing. It's something that you had difficulty forgetting about, and maybe you had bad dreams that night because of it. I think a lot of people saw The Exorcist back in 1975, was it? And they thought it was very disturbing. They thought it really was the devil possessing this woman. But that's an old movie. I'm sure a lot of you don't know about that movie.
It was kind of evil. I remember my aunt had a hard time sleeping after she saw that movie. So, yeah, it can be disturbing. Sometimes you'll see a news report. I'm always on X or Twitter. It used to be Twitter. And sometimes I have to go and just move past a story that's disturbing, because I know it'll upset me and I will think about it and it'll make me upset, worried, uncomfortable. So that's disturbing. He says, wait, remember the voice acting job I applied for? He's trying to remember how they got hold of his voice. How would they be using something that sounded so close to his own natural voice? He applied for a voice acting job. This is kind of scary because this is what Tom and I do for a living. He said, I submitted a voice sample for an audiobook last month. To submit just means you give something to someone officially. It could be maybe you submitted an application for something or submitted a form. Maybe you submitted homework or some sort of document that was due. So you turned it in, you handed it in, you sent it in. He submitted a voice sample. So he used an MP3 that he had, from his past work, and he sent it in to this voice acting job website. He wanted an audiobook job. Audiobooks are just books that are read aloud by an author. Sometimes they're just, pretty straightforward where you just read with a narration voice. But sometimes there are really talented actors out there that are recording audiobooks doing different characters. So it's kind of fun.
Most of the time they get the original author to read the audiobook, but sometimes they find other actors to do that. And I was going to say that you and I have been doing this program for years, so if somebody wanted to sample our voices, they could have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we might be really concerned about our family members. Maybe they'll believe that we're actually calling them, saying we're kidnapped or something. So, yeah, this is something to worry about. And Lisa says, yeah, you mentioned that. So, yeah, you talked about that before. You told me that you had done that before. She doesn't quite remember, but I guess you could say, oh, I remember you telling me that. I remember that you mentioned that. You applied for a voice acting job and you submitted a voice sample. They wanted you to give them a sample of your voice to see if they liked your voice. And John says, well, I didn't get the job, but now I'm wondering, could they have used my recording without permission? So maybe this particular advertisement was a scam. We're looking for voice actors. Please submit your voice sample. So, of course, they probably received hundreds of samples. Lots of people would like to do that kind of work. And, of course, their intention was to get samples from all those people in order to try to scam them. So watch out for that. If somebody is looking for voice actors, it could be a bad thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers out there. I get at least 4 or 5 scam emails every day. They'll send me these bills that are attached to emails saying I owe. And it's usually for something I use, like Norton software, antivirus software or something. But I'll look at it and I'll think that's not what it costs and I didn't order anything. So always be careful. Don't click on any attachments if you can avoid it. Sometimes that'll give you viruses on your computer. So yeah, these scams are all around us, and these scammers, that's the person doing the scam, these days they only need a few seconds of someone's voice to create a convincing clone or copy. And John says, true, I've heard about that. Voice cloning fraud is becoming more advanced. That is the truth. Fraud is when someone does something that's illegal or wrong. It could be morally wrong. They're doing something to trick people. So it could be scam, it could be some sort of deception they're playing on you or trickery. So, yeah, you want to avoid being defrauded. That's how we say if you've actually been defrauded. And you definitely don't want to be the one defrauding people. So it's pretty advanced these days. It's true. As technology has increased, the scams have gotten more sophisticated. And they're probably targeting others too, he says, which of course they are.
Right. And of course, they're probably targeting older people who don't really know about this kind of stuff. So they're probably getting scammed all the time. Grandma, I've been kidnapped. You got to pay the kidnappers 25 million NT dollars or they're going to kill me. And of course, elderly people may not know what this is all about. So they may give in and send them the money. So yeah, if you're young and you've got grandparents or whatever, let them know that this is going on so they can be on guard against this sort of thing. And Lisa says, you definitely should. You should report this to the authorities and you should tell your bank just in case. So tell the bank that this has happened to you, that they gave you this call so the bank can warn other depositors and they will warn them in case it happens to them.
Now, John says, good idea. I'm glad you didn't fall for it. If you fall for something, it means you were tricked into believing something that isn't true. So don't be fooled by somebody. Don't be tricked by somebody. Or we'll often say, don't be taken in by that. That's just a lie. You need to be really discerning. And you need to know that what you're listening to is accurate or truth. Always double check everything, guys. If it feels funny or kind of bad to you, it's probably bad. Trust your gut feeling is what I would say. If she had sent the 5,000, there's no way of getting that back. So,
True.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our discussion. Please stay tuned. We're going to talk about some useful expressions after we hear from our Chinese teacher right now.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天要带大家来看一个语音诈骗耶，哇，真的是诈骗猖獗，现在居然还会有语音诈骗，真是太恐怖了。好，我们先看一下这个标题哦，标题当中的 a close call， 在英文当中啊，它不是什么近距离打电话，不是这个意思哦，它是千钧一发的意思。好，那这里的 close 呢，当然真的就是很接近，哎呀，我差一点就怎么样怎么样了，比如说标题当中，哎呀，差一点就语音诈骗了。不过标题当中的 cloning 不是诈骗的意思哦，它是复制的意思，用语音复制的方式呢，产生了诈骗这种方法。哇，差一点就被诈骗。所以当然我们对话当中看到的是 Lisa 跟 John， 那 Lisa 是差一点被诈骗呢。从第一个到第三个 Lisa 跟 John 的对话当中，描述的是一个整个诈骗的情况。首先 Lisa 接到 John 的电话， John 在第二句，第一个 John 的第二句告诉他说 I'm in trouble， be in trouble 就是有麻烦，出事了，所以他希望朋友能够解救他， get him out of trouble。 那到底要什么呢？原来他是要钱，所以在第二个 John 的第三句当中，来，我给你我的银行账号，你赶快拜托借我5000块。这个银行账号我们中文会讲说，来我给你银行账号，对不对？其实就是银行资讯，包括什么哪个银行哪个分行啦，这个 bank details， 而且还故意有一点情了哦。第四句 I'm counting on you， 我现在就依靠你了。在英文当中的依靠除了 count on 之外，还可以用 rely on R-E-L-Y 或者是 depend on D-E-P-E-N-D。 不过这时候 Lisa 也蛮聪明的哦，她很有警觉心，我等一下回你电话。于是乎 Lisa 主动打电话给 John。 那 John 在做什么呢？我们来看到第二句，没有啊，我刚一直在开会，我哪有打电话给你。好，我们来注意这一句话，这句话的时态特别注意一下。当过去开始发生的动作到现在仍然是那个状态的时候，通常就会用现在完成式。我们看到是一个 be 动词，现在完成式 I have been in a meeting， 我一直在开会啊，不可能吧，怎么可能我打电话给你。这时候第五个 Lisa 开始一直到结尾，他就跟 John 来讨论一下，怎么会发生这样子的诈骗，到底是什么样的情况，怎么可能有人的声音听起来跟你一模一样呢？第五个 John 这个地方啊，他就有回忆到了，哇，该不会之前我为了应征一个配音的工作，然后有传出一个音档。我们来看第五个 John 哦，从第二句开始，这个时候他说啊，他有记得一个 voice acting job， 演声音的这个工作，那就是配音工作嘛。那接着重点来了，第五个 John 的第三句，他有送出一个音档。 submit 这个字啊，这个动词它有由下往上呈交递出的意思，因为他要应征工作嘛，当然就是把这个音档啊传给对方公司。那这个 voice sample 基本上是为了一个 audio book， 是为了有声书，结果没有想到居然被拿来做一个语音诈骗。好，所以接下来我们最后面看到的是第7个 Lisa 跟 John， 这边就来到我们的重点咯。在英文当中到底这个诈骗怎么说啊？首先我们来看到第7个 Lisa 的第二句，英文当中这个诈骗的动词你可以用 scam S-C-A-M， 所以这个动词的变化重复 M 再加上 ER 就会有诈骗者的意思，所以那些诈骗的人叫做 scammer。 当然本身 scam 本身也可以当成名词的诈骗。那诈骗还有另外一个字，也就是第7个 John 的第二句的地方，我们看到的是 fraud F-R-A-U-D。 那这个诈骗通常都会用名词比较多，所以其实英文当中的诈骗有2种，你可以用 scam 或者是用 fraud。 不过在这里我们回过头看第7个 Lisa， 在第一句的地方我们一定要学会这个字，因为其实不管是怎么样，我们的文字或者是声音或者是图像，现在都可以直接用 AI 就帮你做出来耶。在英文当中直接帮你做出来，这生成这个字，动词就会用 generate。 所以第7个 Lisa 的第一句 Maybe it's AI generated， 可能是 AI 生成的。在英文当中固定这个词，我们就要记住 AI generated。 换句话说，其实就是因为这个音档的关系，传出去之后就会被诈骗分子 scammers 用 AI 来生成。那当然这个时候该怎么办呢？第7个章这里的第3句，我们把动词的 report 把它抓出来。对我们学生来说， report 最常就是报告的意思啊，上台报告啊，或打报告。其实我们赶快报警的报告也是用这个动词 report to the police， 要把事情说得清清楚楚完完整整，就会用这个动词报警 report to the police。 那当然呢，同时这个银行可能也要告诉他 just in case， 在第8个 Lisa 的第2句最后面的 just in case 是我们很常用的，以防万一哦，银行那边也通知一下，要不然就会上当了。我们明天还会针对到底针对 scams 这些诈骗，我们可以做什么样的一个防范呢？我们明天见了，我是安娜，拜拜。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we've got some useful expressions here. We're expressing concerns. Remember, Lisa was concerned about what happened to John. So if you're worried about someone, there are different ways you can express your concern about that person. Here's the first one. I'm concerned about the upcoming test because I haven't had much time to study. So if you're concerned about something, that just means you're worried about that thing, you're thinking about it a lot, and you're worried about it again. And indeed, if you have not prepared for a test, you would be concerned about that. You would be worried about that.
Oh, yeah. Number 2, did we make the right choice to postpone the event? It's been on my mind all day. When something is on your mind, it's usually because it's something you're concerned or worried about. Oh, it's been on my mind all day. You know, where did I leave my phone? I remember I left my house one day and I didn't remember to take my phone, but I couldn't remember if it was at home or maybe if I'd left it in a cab. So it was on my mind all day. I couldn't just rush home to find out if my phone was still there. Of course it was. I had left it plugged in. But if something's on your mind all day, you're worried about it, you're concerned. It's one of those things that you can use if you want to express that something's bothering you.
You could also say, I've been thinking about it all day. I can't get it off my mind or whatever. And here's number 3. We do have some doubts that the current budget will cover all of the planned expenses. So if somebody tells you their idea about something and you're not quite sure about it, you may doubt what they say. So you could say, I have some doubts about that. Or you could just say, I doubt that. Their doubt is being used as a verb, but here to have doubts about something, that makes it a plural noun here. Yeah, I'm just not quite sure about that. I have some doubts about that. You need to convince me.
Yeah, there are lots of ways you can express concern. You could say, I'm worried that something might happen, or I keep wondering if we should have done more. I'm concerned. You can just use that word. I'm concerned that maybe some of my kids aren't working hard enough on their homework. It worries me, or I'm not completely confident that something will take place. There are lots of ways that you can express concern.
Okay, it's time now for our discussion question, and the question is, have you or someone you know ever received a suspicious phone call? What happened?
I don't know anyone who's received a suspicious phone call. What about you, Tom?
I know of 2 cases. One is an elderly woman here in Taiwan. She received that one phone call. They said that it was their son or something, and he was kidnapped. And she fell for it. She gave them all that money.
How much?
I don't want to say. She's probably very embarrassed about that. I don't want to tell anybody's name here. And it also happened to me one time, actually, and it was the same exact kind of phone call. A voice on the other end of the phone said, "Ba, wa bei bang jia le." And then I said in English, "Oh, you're lying to me. This is a put on." And then, of course, they cussed me out in Taiwanese when they realized that I knew what they were trying to do.
To cuss someone out means to use bad language. We'll use that a lot. Instead of saying he swore at me, we'll say, he cussed me out. So anyway, I'm glad you didn't fall for it. My dad was at home towards the last part of his life, and he would get phone calls all the time of scammers, and he would play with them. He just thought they were the funniest thing, and he'd keep them on the phone for, 45 minutes just playing with them.
Deliberately waste their time.
Wasting their time and probably protecting other people. They hated my dad. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. We've got one more day of our TOEIC unit. We hope you'll join us then. In the meantime, check out our Facebook page and YouTube, learn some more, and be brave. Practice your English with your friends. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.